Look at those speed babies flying across the racetrack. The roar of the engines, the smell of burned rubber. Yes, friend, we are back. Stories from motorsports. Learn about the drivers, learn about the humor. Stories from motorsports. With your host Doug Kenny, learn about the funny moments from behind the wheel. Stories from motorsports. Stories from motorsports. Learn about the cars, learn about racing, and hopefully you will be inspired to get into racing or attend a race in the future. Stories from motorsports with Douglas Kenny and Josh May. Oh!
Yeah, that's great to hear. Who's the NASCAR driver that you think is exactly your style of driving?
Ooh, my style of driving, I don't know. My style, I would probably have to say like, that's a great question. I have no idea. I don't like I watch NASCAR a lot, but just driving style, I would have to say like Ryan Blaney. He's super consistent. He's had terrible luck when it comes to like playoffs, but I think this chase format's going to help him a lot because he's just super consistent. And he pulls wins off, and he's also very calm when it comes to like controversy. He's pretty calm about it, and I feel like I've had a lot of controversy that I was calm about myself. So I would say probably Ryan Blaney or C Bell. I think C Bell's another one that is really really good, and he's also just my favorite in general when it comes to NASCAR side of things. Like he's just quiet, puts his head down, and he wins races. So that's what you got to do.
Yeah, in 2019, when I went to the Xfinity race in Phoenix, almost saw Christopher Bell win that race, and the race changed when he got a speeding penalty, and it allowed Allgaier to win. And I remember seeing he was a respectful sport afterwards, knowing it was his penalty that ended his day, you know?
Yeah, Seabell is a great. I mean, Blaney and Seabell are both amazing. When it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would say those two for sure.
Yeah. Do you think this year for NASCAR competition is going to be better now that the charters are permanent and that whole fiasco is behind them?
Yeah, I think doing that and going back to the chase made some big changes. I still think that Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan didn't get exactly what they wanted out of that deal. Like, NASCAR still profits way, way too much compared to the teams. And if they wanted to get it better, then they have to make it to where they're still making money, but you also need the teams to be making money. I don't think, I think Jeff Gordon said it, but they like Hendrick Motorsports hasn't profited pure profit off of racing in like 15 years. The only reason they profit is because of their automotive side of stuff and their sponsorships that come in. Like that's the only way they can do it and break even and be profitable is from
Yeah.
their investments and sponsors and all their other businesses. But the NASCAR side of it, they said they haven't made money in 15 years if you only count racing. So
Yeah.
it's crazy to see. But I think it'll be better this year. I think the playoffs deal, I thank God they kind of got rid of that. The chase is going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
I
my thing
agree.
is, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just about to say that I agree with you, Dodge, on the chase and everything, just because it was my opinion, although in my fairness, I did give it time before coming to this opinion, unlike most other fans. But I thought that the previous chase system or playoffs was causing drivers to make moves that they normally wouldn't make and to have like mental breakdowns over it a little bit with the win at all costs kind of thing, win and you're in, you
Mhm.
know. I think it led drivers to, make moves or to even behave in certain ways that they didn't before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at Ross Chastain. Love Ross,
Yeah.
good buddy of mine. But like, look at Ross. He did the Hail Melon, and then also in the Final Four that he made it to, he you know
Yeah, and
maybe
then
got
when
into some people that he wouldn't have normally gotten into. So it's just part of it, though. I
yeah,
didn't mind the format. I just think if they're gonna do that format, it shouldn't come down to one race,
Yeah.
and it should have came down to multiple. Make it to where like it was like three races, three races, three races, three races, three races versus the three, 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 one.
hmm
But then you have, then that's just a super long playoff. So like they didn't want to do that because then like let's say the people that didn't make it in the playoff, that's half the season that they're just not a part of at that time. So,
That's
but
kind of
we'll
what I
see.
think too. That's kind of what I think too, is because let's say a guy, let's use Blaney for example. Let's say he wins 6 or 7 races one year
Mm-hmm.
and then goes to Phoenix or Homestead or wherever the finale is going to be that particular year, and then he crashes out or has an engine issue. That totally takes him out, even though he was the most down with the most wins. So I'm really looking forward to this new chase format this year.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be better.
Yeah, I definitely think it will. And we saw Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski lose their cool with each other during that whole playoffs format, which, goes back to what I'm saying. You see these drivers that normally wouldn't react that way, but because of the
Mm-hmm.
pressure, they're succumbing to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I get it 100%. And like I said, it'll be different this year. It should be better too. We don't know, but it should be better theoretically speaking.
Yeah, for sure. What are your hopes for racing this year? Are you going to stay in your series? Are you hoping to get into cars or break through to NASCAR? What are your hopes for this year?
Well, we got, some big sprint car races, so really just focusing on those. I wouldn't say I have any like hopes to go to NASCAR. NASCAR is spoon-fed, sponsors bring money kind of deal, so it's unrealistic unless I find somebody with a few $1 million that wants to back me. But yeah, just winning more races this year. Honestly, I don't really have any other expectations other than that.
Got it. Got it. What are your hopes, Josh, for racing this year? Are you going to go to races?
I'm going to try to either go to Bristol or Nashville. I go to Nashville for the truck race, but some other stuff has come up this year that week, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But I may go to. I'd like to go to one of the Bristol races. Again, like I said before, my home track is Kentucky Speedway, and obviously they're not on the schedule right now. And there's some rumors going around that there may be some other stuff going on over there. So I don't know. I'm going to try to be more active and involved in watching every race in all 3 series, and just, I love racing and I'm hoping to attend some this year.
Yep, definitely. I'm hoping to get out to Slinger and see some monster truck action in Phoenix, and I'm hoping to also go
Mm.
see some figure eight racing and short tracks.
Nice.
Yeah, figure eights are pretty badass. I've seen a bunch of those. A lot of figure eight racing actually. I've watched. So
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I saw some at the Arizona Fair, and it was quite eye-opening.
yeah, I've won a few Crown Vic figure eight races, but they're fun.
Yeah. So that's all we have for now, but we thank you for coming on to SFM.
Oh, I appreciate it, you guys.
Thank you, and we wish you luck for this year, and congratulations on your daughter.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Dutch.
Yep. So everybody, that's all we have from SFM, and we'll see you next time for the next episode.
Oh, wow, baby, look at those speed babies flying across the racetrack. The roar of the engines, the smell of burned rubber. Yes, friend, we are back. Stories from motorsports. Learn about the drivers, learn about the humor. Stories Stories from Motorsports. With your host Doug Kenny, learn about the funny moments from behind the wheel. Stories from Motorsports. Stories from Motorsports. Learn about the cars, learn about racing, and hopefully you will be inspired to get into racing or attend a race in the future. Stories from Motorsports with Douglas Kenny